Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Gonna do a quick sound check. Hey everyone. For some reason, our music is very, very low. Let's see if we can get that fixed. But how's everybody doing? Welcome back to another Monday Live. So happy to be here. As promised, we're gonna work on our typewriter. So let's get into. Oh, let's turn that down. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna get into our typewriter today. We're gonna keep working on this. Very excited about this. Last week we last left off where I felt like I needed to find some blueprints, and I did that. Just kind of like searched the internet for just a little bit of a better understanding of. Let me turn the music up just a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Kind of like search the internet for just. Let's see. I feel that the music is just like a little too faint, so I'm gonna go into OBS and just turn it up, even just a little. All right, and we'll leave it right there. I don't want it to be too overwhelming, but a little something in the background. Okay, so as promised, I went ahead and found some blueprints of typewriters that I think will just help with finishing up this model. This is a lot more intricate than I was anticipating, which I welcome. Feels a little bit overwhelming, but I'm up for the challenge. So we're just going to dive into it. So this is where we last left off last week. Yeah, and then I found something while I was kind of working on a few other projects. I was actually considering redoing the base of this typewriter, but I figured I'm gonna keep it like this. And to be honest, this one's very similar to what I have here, so I could also use this as a bit of a prototype as well. So I think I will do that. I'll just kind of keep what we have. I'm going to add the tiny little details, and we're just going to continue to roll with it. I'm not going to start over. I think we can really push this a lot further. So that's the intention for the day. That's the plan. Just kind of catch the vibe, chill out, and get some work done. And while I'm working, let me just make sure that my screencast keys are on so you guys can see what I'm doing, just in case. It'll be down here in the left hand corner, and then yeah, we'll just kind of lock in and do some work. So feel free to just kind of like put this on in the background or follow along if you'd like. I do have part 1 up from last week, and yeah, we're just gonna chill, catch a vibe. I got my coffee, I got my bubbly sparkling water. Today we're rocking with orange cream. It's so good, by the way. I love bubble water. All right, so I'm thinking what I want to do right now. I think I'm going to go back to the base here, and I just want to elevate the base of this typewriter, and then we're just going to work from the bottom up. And I feel that'll be a lot less overwhelming, and that'll give me, I don't know, it'll just give me the space to kind of warm up. You know, you got to warm it up before you really get into the thick of it. So one thing I'm noticing already is there's a bit of like an elevation underneath the space bar. It's not just, if you notice on mine, it's just the space bar on, and that's just not how it would work. So I'm going to grab that on the Z and pull it up just a little bit. And then we're just going to put we'll put a few cubes underneath, and that'll essentially be, when you press the space bar down, the support for that. So let's go ahead and do that. And I guess while we're doing this, we could do a bit of a story time, because it has been quite the week. It was quite the weekend for me. It was quite the weekend. I was hoping to work on this a little bit behind the scenes, but with the weekend that I had, there was just no space. Yesterday was the first time I was able to actually get into Blender and do some work. Unfortunately, this weekend at my bar in Venice, my purse was stolen. And in that purse was, you know, my ID, my house keys, my car keys. So it just became this thing that I just wasn't prepared for. It's really, really a horrible situation. All is well. I was able to get like all my keys and everything remade, but this was real inconvenience. Not to mention I had just gotten that purse. I had always wanted a Marc Jacobs purse. So I'd finally got one. It was like this really cute baby pink Marc Jacobs purse. And living in Los Angeles, you have to be very, very like on it. You can't get caught slipping, because they'll get you out here. And unfortunately, I put it down for a little too long, and somebody must have seen. And it wasn't just my Marc Jacobs, but it was my Stanley Cup, which is devastating. It was like a baby yellow Stanley Cup, and I loved that Stanley Cup so much. I took it everywhere with me. My aunt bought it for me when I visited home. Originally, I'm from Connecticut, so when I would go home, you know, like seeing my family again, they would like gift me things. So my aunt realized that I didn't have a Stanley Cup, so she was like, I bought you a Stanley Cup. And I mean, I loved that thing. It was like my child. So between my baby pink purse and my baby yellow Stanley Cup, they got me. They really came up. So I was kind of dealing with that all weekend. And it was just like a real inconvenience. It really sucked. But I will say, you know, it could have been worse. It could have definitely been worse, you know. And like, I guess the lesson that I learned in that is like, you know, material things can be replaced. I can buy a new purse. It's, you know, as long as I'm good and nothing happened to me, I feel blessed for that. So I just kind of had to take that L and recover from all of that this weekend. So that kind of sucked. But so I say all that to say it really left me no space to be creative, honestly. I was just kind of mourning the loss of my stuff. And you know, it's never easy. It just definitely feels like a violation when someone just like touches your stuff. It's just so weird. I've had my car broken into. Actually, the only times my car has been broken into was in Boston, and and which is crazy because I love Boston as a city. I love it. Every time I've gone, I've had the best time. But I've literally had my car broken into twice in Boston. And I remember that taking a while to kind of recover from. It just felt like icky, like yucky. Like someone's touching my stuff and I don't know them. They don't know me. Or even they're just kind of walking around with my stuff. I kind of hated that. So, yeah, it was just kind of like a tough pill to swallow, but we're here. Everything's fine. I was able to replace everything, and everything is good. So I think these are just like tiny little lessons in life about just like not being attached. First of all, being attached to materialistic things can be the cause of unnecessary pain. So although it did suck, it's not something that I can't recover from. So I kind of just took it as a lesson. And I just got to be a little bit more cautious of my surroundings and all of that, especially being in a big city. So that's kind of my lesson there. Okay, so the space bar is done. I kind of like that right there. I want to add a little bit of interest there. So let's add a little bit of, I'm going to utilize, I guess my Boolean tool. Let's see what we can do here. So let's tap into edit mode and check out this geometry again. I remember not loving what was going on here in the corner. So let's see. I think what we'll do, so tab out. I'm going to go to my front facing view, and I'm going to use this tool here. I'm going to add a cube, go right here. Maybe we'll do it, yeah, it's pretty close to the edge. So I'll go from here to about here. Go ahead and pull it out. Let's go to our X. Alright, I'm going to tab into edit mode. I'm going to grab this on the Z, pull it up, and then let's grab this front face here, and I'm going to grab on the Y and just make it a little bit larger so that we can intersect. I'm going to select all of it, and let's grab on the Y. So I did post up a reel today utilizing the curve modifier. So me and the curve modifier have not been getting along lately. I find that it's really finicky. You have to have all the settings just so for it to do what you want it to do. So I spent a lot of time yesterday working on, I have a watercolor collection that I'm working on right now, and the idea is to get 30 models done. So I was working on a lifesaver model a little bit last week, and I did a little bit last night, and the thing that was holding me back was essentially I created a rope and I wanted it to follow a curve. So I duplicated, but I'm going to undo. I'm just going to use the mirror modifier. So I essentially think I figured out how to tackle the curve modifier. So I did post up a short on the top 5 things that I learned about the curve modifier. after doing a ton of research and practicing. We did do a vintage rotary phone a few weeks back to add to this vintage collection that I'm working on here. And the last thing that we needed to do in that particular model was the coil, the phone coil. But I was having a really tough time getting the coil to follow the curve. And I spent a ton of time trying to get that to work. And I finally took let's see here. I'm gonna boolean this really quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna select my cutter and then my Shift Control B. I did slice, but I think I want to do intersection. Do I want to do intersection? Let's see. We're just gonna try. Oh no, that's not what we want. We're gonna try difference. I think it's just difference that we want. Oh my gosh. Completely not what I'm looking for. Let me see. Sometimes the Boolean tool can be a little weird. Let me see. I don't know if I need to. There we go. All right, I think that looks cool. Let's move that to our hide collection. Boom. Just a little extra detail, I guess. It's kind of cool. Right? Looking good. But yes, I did eventually get that working, so I will post up something for the rotary phone as well. That was another model that I really did enjoy working on. I think I'm going to just have this be a black shader back here, so I'm not going to do too much with that. Maybe I will also let me see. Let me tab into edit mode. I'm going to select this back face. I want to add a little geometry here. So maybe I'm going to hit 2. I'm just going to grab this top one here. See what that does. Alright, I think what we'll do, I just want to add a little bit of detail back here. So let's see. Alright, so I got rid of the face because I just want to see what I could do here. E on the Z, maybe? Okay, cool. So maybe I'll just bring it down like that much. And then I'm going to E on the Y. I mean, I'm genuinely just winging this right now. I don't know if this is ultimately, yeah, I think that actually is much better. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to tab out and I'm going to take all of these babies and I'm going to grab on the Z and pull them. I'm going to pull them down like that. And then I'll do the same for these. Grab on the Z and I'm just going to pull it down so it's just below that line right there. Great. And then that way there'll be some depth back there. It'll kind of be blank. And we can even go as far as pulling these deeper back. But I feel like once we get the shadow back there, it'll be fine. Okay, I think that's great. Now, let me see. I'm gonna go back here. Let's see if this lets me. Okay, I'm gonna shift D, just the plane. I'm gonna just grab on the Y and pull it out a little bit. Scale on the Z. Grab on the Z. And then E on the Y. That's going to give us a little bit more geometry there. I think I feel comfortable recognizing that the topology of this is just not going to be ideal. But it's going to look decent. It'll be decent enough. Hey Jasmine, how are you? How are you? How are you? Thanks for joining me. How do I do what exactly? I'll tell you everything I know. I'm good, thank you. I feel like it's a good day, sun is shining. I think it's like 80 degrees in LA today. Thank you. You're so sweet. What are you up to today? What do you got going on? I'm just gonna add a little bit of detail. New subscriber, yay! Thank you so much. It means literally the world to me. The fact that people are subscribing is insane. But I'm so honored, so thank you so much. I love it. So sweet. So I'm just gonna add like little button details, I guess, just to give it a little bit more detail. Oh, you're trying to start a YouTube channel? Okay. Why no luck? What's going on? I know it's really, really, in the beginning, it's really daunting. I can definitely see where it's a lot to do. I'm still wanting to do a second YouTube channel where I play The Sims, which is like another one of my passions. I'll forever love The Sims, and I just still haven't found the space to do that, so I get it. It's okay if no one's watching. Also, drop it down. I'll jump in. What do you do on your YouTube channel? And you got to start somewhere, you know what I mean? I think that's the main thing. In the beginning, it kind of has to be just for you. You know? People will they'll catch on. I'll subscribe. When I get off live, I'll subscribe for sure. So I'll be your subscriber. Absolutely. Absolutely. You bet. No problem. No problem at all. Yeah, it's definitely, it can definitely be a little bit overwhelming in the beginning, but I feel like the one thing that I like about YouTube the most versus a lot of social media is YouTube kind of has this like set it and forget it kind of vibe. So it's like you'll post something, you'll post content, and then it'll kind of just do its own thing. It'll just be in there. So I say just keep posting. Don't worry about anyone watching. And if anything, utilize the time where it's just you to learn, you know. I kind of use this as a time to like practice talking and learning how to teach and all those things. So this might just be your time to cook, you know, let it cook right now. That's fine. Everybody had to start from the beginning, so you're right on time. It's gonna be great. And you have a new subscriber because I'm gonna subscribe, so don't you even worry. Of course. So I think I want to bevel these a little bit, make them a little bit more rounded. I probably should have used this geometry before I beveled, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna, let's see, Control B. Yeah, I just want to give it like a little bit of a rounded vibe right here. So we'll do like a few mouse scrolls like that. And I think that's good. So what kind of lifestyle is it? Is it just like a day in the life? Or, yeah, like what kind of stuff do you, like vlogging? I'm gonna put a few little like these little things here. Just gonna go crazy with the little like details. Couldn't hurt. Let's just do like a little box right here. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, 3D can be, it can be overwhelming for sure. But I think I like the challenge. That's what I think I like about it. It feels like a puzzle almost. Like, I think I enjoy that. I like when I have to like push my brain to the limit to try to figure out how to make things work, you know? Okay, nice. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be so good. A lot of things that helped me in the very beginning were tutorials. Oh, thank you, Jasmine. You're so sweet. I really appreciate you so much. Yeah, tutorials helped me a ton. I remember I was working on Blender Guru's donut. I think that was my first tutorial that I did. And I had told my best friend that I was working on it, and I told her I got stuck on a part, and it took me weeks, like weeks, to get past the one part. And she was wanting to dabble in 3D as well, so she started working on the tutorial as well. So she was a little bit behind, and when I told her it had taken me weeks to do it, she kind of was like, weeks? Oh my God. And I was like, first of all, don't judge me. Like, this is really hard. And then once she got to that part, she got stuck and she stopped. And I was like, I told you, it is not easy. It's definitely really challenging at times. And she's like, no, I definitely believe you. I definitely believe you now. I'm like, if you don't know the language, it can get really overwhelming quickly. But I don't know, I like the challenge. I like the challenge a lot. Oh yeah, okay, you tried it too? Yeah. Yes. My hope is to really just like create a space for everyone, but specifically women, in the space, because I feel like, you know, it's such a male dominated space, and there's so many spaces that are male dominated, and it just would be nice to just have a community of women who are just kind of learning from one another, and you know, just passing along tips and just helping one another grow. And I try to have these lives be an authentic representation of what the process of working in 3D actually looks like. It's not all rainbows and butterflies and super easy, and you don't get things done in 15 minutes. Like, sometimes things take forever. And I want that to be clear. And yeah, I just want that to be clear. I just don't want people to feel like it's, if you don't get it right away, that you're not good at it. It just takes a while to learn it. Yeah, okay. It's a good vibe to, you know, try to be more positive about things. Things can get discouraging for sure, you know, and it can get frustrating. Trust me. There are plenty of times where I'm just like, forget it. Just forget it. But, you know, that's with anything though. I feel anything that is worth it is gonna be hard in the beginning, you know? You don't have to be like toxic positive, but I think it is perspective. Perspective matters. So if something isn't working, you can just shift perspective, and sometimes that's all it takes. I think I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'm going to just kind of make this one a little bit smaller. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to tab into edit mode, and then I'm going to scale on the Z. Just make this like a little skinnier, and then let me scale on the Y, and I'll pull it back a little. I'm just trying to add like detail to this and just make it look, I don't know, better. I just feel like, you know, it's your journey and you get to do it how you want, you know? And I think once I release the pressure of like having to be as good as Blender Guru or any of the Blender artists that I follow, once I release that and just recognize like I am who I am, I'm at the skill level that I'm at. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to compare myself to. I'm just practicing, and I hope people can learn while I'm practicing. And that's literally the only thing I have control over, you know? Thank you. You're so sweet. That really makes me feel good. Thank you for saying that. It's definitely an outlet that I enjoy. I really do love 3D, and I don't know, I just something about it. I just wish I had known about this much sooner in my life, but everything happens in divine timing. I'm not gonna kind of beat myself up about not knowing about it, but I am grateful to have found it, and I'm grateful to know that there's a need for women in this space as well. Like, that makes me feel optimistic and excited about the industry. So I just want to be a voice that can be of support to the community. That's really all I'm looking for. You know what? I think the older I get, the more I love like a nostalgic. I just like nostalgia. And I feel like a lot of these vintage items remind me of my grandma, because she had a lot of these when I was growing up. She had a rotary phone. I had a typewriter that she gave me. I had a sewing machine that she gave me. I don't know, there's just something so vintage about it, and I just love this aesthetic. I love the detail. I love that there's so many little buttons and screws, and I think I do like vintage a lot, you know. I do. And I don't know, it just kind of, I feel like it kind of connects me to my grandma in a way. And that makes me feel good. Yes, it's true. It's really true. Everyone matters. Everyone absolutely should be treated the same and allowed a voice, you know, because everybody's coming from different walks of life, different experiences. So every voice is going to be like unique. And you never know, like your voice might be the voice that helps someone. And that's why I encourage you, no matter how many people are in your live or subscribe to your channel, keep pushing out the content, because you are your only voice. You're the only one that's like lived your experience and all those things. So I think it is important for everybody to put their 2 cents in, you know. You never know who you can help, honestly. I used to teach kickboxing when I first moved to California, and that was probably one of my biggest lessons, honestly. Just like speaking with clients and, you know, hearing their stories. And a lot of times you'll connect with a specific instructor for a different reason. And it's like we're all teaching the same class essentially, but certain members are going to connect with me versus, you know, let's say Aaron, and that's just because whatever my voice is connects with them for whatever reason, you know. Not saying one's better than the other or anything like that, but I think that matters. It really does matter. So that's my hope, to just be a voice for maybe a community of people that don't feel that they have a voice yet, you know. And in this case, maybe specifically women. So that's my intention. So I'm just going to keep building, keep practicing. And whatever is supposed to be will be. Honestly. Yay. Hi, everybody. Welcome into the chat. Thank you for joining. Jasmine and I are just talking about life. Also, if you guys could subscribe to her channel, that would be amazing. She has a lifestyle channel. So right now I'm just kind of adding little details. I don't know, I'm just using my references just to add little things here and there. So I'm just going to add a little detail on this side. And I'm just going to keep building, slowly building on this. So I'll put a little detail there. Let's see what else we can do. I'll put a few more buttons, I think. Let's just do a few more circles, maybe. We'll do some cylinders. Like this. I think this model is probably one of the most detailed that I've worked on in a while, but I'm happy about it. I'm really liking it. I'm just gonna do a little bevel here, so there's a little bit of a rounding. Let me scroll, just do like that. Getting a phone call. Send that to voicemail. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just gonna add a few more little buttons. Make sure this is kind of looking how I want. Let me grab on the X. I'm just gonna kind of randomly put them in places. And this is kind of where I just like go with the flow of it. Whatever feels good, I'll do that. So I'll just mirror a few things. I think I had mentioned in a previous live that CG Boost, which is a channel on YouTube that does Blender stuff as well, really helped me a lot in my modeling. I've always kind of had a passion for modeling in Blender, and this is a little, I want this to be, let me just do the transform. So I'm gonna apply the transform. We'll try it again because it's not quite there. Hi Toka Jazz, how are you? Welcome into the chat. Welcome. What are you up to? Thank you guys for being here. Always makes for a fun chat. Okay. I'm just gonna duplicate it, because sometimes the mirror modifier just doesn't do what I need it to do. So I'm just gonna save myself the headache. And oh, it's probably because of the origin, but it's okay. Okay. But like I was saying, CG Boost. It's Jasmine, just different account. I'm gonna say, oh, I love it, Jasmine. Thank you. You're such a sweetie. So which one is your lifestyle channel? I'll totally subscribe to both though. Totally. No problem. Whatever you need. I feel like it's really important for us to like support one another. So you bet. Okay, adding some of those. I also think what I really want to do here, and I've been wanting to do this, so I'm going to Shift A. I'm going to go to text. And I'm going to just isolate the text here. And we're going to go up top. I'm going to tab into edit mode. I'm going to kind of pull it out. And then let me go into I'm trying to, oh, here we go, right here. I'm gonna use that. And I want to add some really pretty engravings. So let's just like go through and see what we can come up with. So let me see which ones I'm feeling. Jasmine here, another sub. You are the best human. I am like so thankful. You have no idea. You are the sweetest thing in the world. Thank you for going so above and beyond, because you didn't have to do any of this. I'm so grateful. It's like I feel every single Monday it just gets better and better. So I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you. You're so wonderful. You did not have to do all that. You're so sweet. Oh, I like that one. That's really pretty. So I'm using a font from the fonts, and wow, they're so pretty. I love these. I didn't even use the numbers. Remember. Oh, you're so kind. Of course I will. When I'm giving my speech, wherever I'm giving the speech for whatever I'm giving it about. Absolutely. I'll be like, my girl Jazz was right there with me, shooting in the gym. Okay, so these I think are all of my options. So I'm into definitely these two somewhere. What else do we want on our model? I think this one kind of makes sense. I put this in my gumball machine. I like that one. All right, so let's eliminate the ones we don't want. So I don't need any of these guys, so we'll get rid of those. I don't think I need these guys. Definitely like these. This one can go also. I think I like this one as well. These can go. They don't necessarily fit this model. What else is speaking to me? I think maybe these two will keep. And then these can go. I want the heart. I think the heart is cute. I don't know where I would put it, but we'll put the heart. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. It's so sweet. It's my hope. It's really my hope. I am very grateful for the community so far, and just everything I've learned, and speaking to your channel and what you've been feeling. I can completely relate to that, and just feeling discouraged at times, and for me personally, just maybe like not good enough or not skilled enough, or whatever the case may be. But I think once I let that go, once I release that, and I just was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll just do the thing that I love and put it out there. And that's the only thing I'm doing. I'm just going to do what I love and have no expectations as well. I think that's huge. To just like not put expectations on yourself, not make it too hard. That's really helped me a lot. I did like a month of shadow work where I really just kind of dove deep and just focused a lot on intention and tried to put into perspective what my hopes were and what I was my objective. What was my objective? Why was I doing it? Was it for recognition? Was it for a pat on the back? Like, what am I looking to accomplish here? And if I'm looking to inspire and to show people that none of those things matter, then I have to be the first one to believe that. So once I released the pressure that I was essentially putting on myself, because no one else was putting that pressure on me. Once I released that, I was like, oh, I'll just do work and put it up there. And it's been working, you know. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. And, you know, I feel like in those sorts of circumstances, you know, being bullied is absolutely a reflection of the person, like the bullier, you know, and it's super cruel and unfair and just like not okay. And I'm really sorry that you had to like experience that. But I'm glad that you're still pushing and you're still trying, and you know, don't let that define you, because it isn't. It isn't. And I think that was a huge part of my shadow work also. A lot of times I had to look at things. I have a bunch of nieces and nephews, and one of my shadow questions was, you know, if your niece or nephew made a mistake and they were feeling like they weren't a good person or they were a bad person because of this mistake, what would you say to them? And immediately it kind of like choked me up, because I was like, are you kidding? Like, life is all about mistakes. That's the whole thing. You make mistakes. Like, that is life. That's what you do. But a mistake doesn't like define you. It doesn't change your spirit. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change anything about your being. It's just an action that happened that maybe didn't work out. But you don't have to attach that to your existence, your being, who you are. And once I realized that that's what I would say to my nieces and nephew, I was like, oh God, like, I probably should be saying those things to myself as well, you know? We don't have to be perfect. Like, you just try, you know? So my hope for you is that you know, don't give up. Just give yourself a chance, you know? Because you deserve that, you know? You deserve an opportunity to show the world who you are. Absolutely. So I'm taking all of my little engravings here, and I'm just gonna tab into edit mode, and I'm just gonna make them a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna E on the Z and just pull it down a little bit so that they have some depth and geometry. Do like that. And I separated them all so they're all individual pieces, you know? Yeah. I feel, this one got messed up in the process. Let's see. Let me select all. Might have to redo just one of them. Or you know what? Let me just undo. I'm just going to go all the way back. We'll just go back. Okay. let me tab in, and then I'm gonna E on the Z for all of them. I don't know why that keeps happening. Okay, E on the Z. I'm gonna give them some geometry like that, and then I'll select everything, click P, separate by loose parts. Yes. Hey Kiss, welcome back. So glad to see you again. Hey everyone. Hey Izzy. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Where's everybody from? And what do you do on a Monday? What does your Monday look like? I'm in the bar industry when I'm not doing this stuff. So my Mondays are like my weekend. So I love a Monday because this is like my chill day. It's a day that I can just like be on the computer. I can be, you know, like chatting with you fine folks. I love a Monday. This is like my Friday. So, yeah, what do you guys do on a Monday? I'm going to take some of these pieces and start putting them places. Let's look at our model and see what we want. So I'll put, let's go ahead and turn. Let's get these turned. This would be like my coworker was wanting to do a beach day today because it's so hot. Not so hot in LA, but it's a very comfortable. It's definitely beach day vibes for sure. But I was like, I have my lives on Monday, so I'm gonna be on live, but we'll see what happens later. Okay, cool. So let's just okay, kids. Yes, we're doing some engraving for sure. From Chicago. Oh, my family's in Chicago. My great grandma's in Chicago. I love that. From Chicago, I usually just enjoy my mornings, go on a walk, write until I can't. Yes. Cooking now before I get ready to do some game dev. Oh yeah, because you're working on a game. How is that going? Because math is on Monday, but it's oh, I know math is tough. Math is a tough one. That was probably one of my least favorites. I did not love math in school. Uh-oh, we're missing some pieces here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do that back. All right, let's just do one at a time. How about that? Okay, let me rotate this one on the Z like that. And we'll just do this one at a time. So let me grab on the X. Let me pull, oops. Let me pull you down. So pretty. I love these, I love these engravings. I think they're so good. Where can I put you though? Let me scale it down a bunch. I think I know what I want to do with this. This is kind of cute. Yeah, Kiss, how's the game coming along? I remember you were mentioning you were working on it last week. Still so exciting. Like, people who build games are like my inspiration for real. I can't do math. My teacher always shouts at me, calls me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Your teacher says that? Also, first of all, completely unacceptable for starters. Like, huh? I've never understood those sorts of teachers that like, that is not a motivational way of teaching. Like, why would you want to be the person that I'll never understand that. I'm sorry that your teacher's like that. That's sick. I know a lot of, we hear like a lot of success stories from people who have, made it and ended up doing everything that they wanted to do. And they always had that one teacher that would say those things. I can't. How would your teacher know if you're going to amount to anything? Just absolutely a ridiculous thing to say. It's awful. And you know what? The fact of the matter is, what did your teacher amount to if that's how they're moving through life? Saying things like that? It's horrible. It's awful. I'm so sorry. And I'm sure that affects how you learn, because if you have anxiety while this person is screaming at you, how are you supposed to learn? It's it's not the tactic. It's not the way. It's awful. It's going good so far. Doing a little 2D hack in Splash Platform right now. I'm talking with another game dev programmer. We're talking about working together. Yes. We love a collab. Absolutely. It's how a lot of messages hit me. Yeah, my goodness. I don't know if I've ever had a math teacher be so mean to me, but I've had friends experience that kind of stuff, and I just think it's the weirdest thing. It's why are you a teacher if that's your vibe? It's why are you doing this? This is clearly something you don't want to do. You don't enjoy this because you're supposed to be of support. So that's weird. She's probably just not happy in her own life, so she's taking it out on you. That's what that gives, because why would you ever say that to a person unless you're just not happy with what you got going on? Honestly, it's awful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's definitely in the wrong profession then. She's definitely in the wrong profession. Because everyone knows teachers don't even make a tremendous amount of money, which is absolutely a crime also. But at the same time, it's she could make more money and not be cruel. She could go elsewhere. And if she's only in it for the money, why do you have to ruin people in the process? It's okay, if you're only about money, that's fine. You get to be only about money, but then just be about money and don't ruin other people in the process. Go do something where it's just you and you're making money and no one's affected. But she has no idea how much her words could hurt. It's absolutely sick. Literally. I'm gonna join, because there's a few loose pieces, and I'm just gonna make sure everything is together. So just making sure. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna take these details and put them around. She says she doesn't make enough, but yeah, and that's 100% it, Kiss. That's the only thing I can think of. Because it's why are you taking it out on me that you're not happy about whatever you got going on in your personal life? That's nasty. That's nasty work. Shame on her. But you know what? The energy that you put out there is the energy you're going to receive back. So that goes to speak with probably why she's not happy, because she's not getting good vibes back. Because she's not a good vibe. If she's negative vibes, then she's going to get negative vibes. And it's just the cycle. That's how it works. So you don't even need to pour energy into her, because she's already, the universe is already giving her what she what she deserves. Clearly she's unhappy. Because we all get to choose. Like, you get to choose how you treat people. So, that's her choice. That's gross. Oh yeah, let's bring this over a little bit. It's so interesting because last week I was feeling very overwhelmed, I think, by this. But today I'm feeling like I'm hitting the flow state. I feel like it's happening. It's all coming together. I think it's going to be beautiful in the end. It's like a slow creation here. Can't rush it. I think I want to put some fun design like right there. Let's see what I could do. What else do we have? I think I want to use this here. Yeah, we'll use this one. Let's do that. And then let's I'm gonna grab on the Z. Yeah, we'll put that on the base as well. So I'm gonna grab on the Z and then I'll rotate on the let me see. I'm gonna set the origin to the geometry so it rotates better. And then I'll rotate on the Y, just 90 degrees. And okay, so I don't know if this will fit. Maybe we'll have to do something else. It's really true. Thank you for saying that, Kiss. That was another reason why I didn't want to rush through it last week, because there was a moment in time where I was putting this weird restriction on myself where I was like, oh, like finish it in one session. And it's like, that's also not realistic. A lot of my projects take weeks and weeks, to be honest. I still have so many projects in my computer that I'm still working on. I have characters that I've been working on for months. I went on this robot kick for a while, so I was just like building robots nonstop, and those are still not fully complete. But it's like, if you want it to be to reach its full potential, a lot of times you just gotta take your time with it. So I definitely felt like I needed to release the pressure that I was creating on my own. So I'm confused. Should they say we'll end up sweeping on the roadsides? I don't know what you mean, Jazz. Let me know. Yeah, just work on your own time, not the world's time. Exactly. Come on. That's a quote. See, it's going too fast. They end up running into a wall. It's true. It's really true. Don't work on the world's time. Jazz, that's what we were kind of talking about earlier. Like, you know, Jazz has a channel, by the way, a lifestyle channel. And so if you have space or time, subscribing would really help her out. We were kind of speaking to that a little bit earlier. There's no real rules. You just do whatever works for you. And that's really that. I might want to make this engrave this. Like, this might be a vibe. Let me tab into edit mode, and then I'm gonna E on the Y. I'll put that in there. Oop. Wait, undo. think, okay, let me just go to the front here. And I'm just gonna select just the front. Yes. And then I will grab on the Y and make it a little bit thicker, because I think I want to do a engraving. So I'm gonna Boolean this instead of leaving it like that. Oof, that looks rough. Let's undo that. Let's see. We might need to redo this one. Let me make sure. Just want to see if I did that. Yeah, I did that. Okay. So it actually, let me tab out. I'm gonna grab it and then I'll just pull it in a little bit more. Yeah, I need it to be thicker. Okay. So I think that'll be really pretty. And then I just kind of want like a something going like this way, going down that way. And I think we do need a few more buttons and things, like these little guys, these little knobs and things. Also, that might be a vibe. Maybe do another little Boolean right here. Let me add a few more little details in the front. I'm pretty excited to have another partner to work with me on the game. Have you ever thought of? Oh my gosh, yeah. So I think I mentioned last week that I had done a semester in Unreal Engine. And by the end of my scene in Unreal Engine, which came out really, really dope. Like, I was actually surprised myself. By the end of it, we had all exchanged information. One of the guys in the group was actually, he worked on video games and he was in Japan. And we exchanged emails and we're planning on actually like working on some stuff together, and maybe even potentially we had talked about doing like a Udemy Unreal course together. I think it was Udemy. What's the other one? There's another like online teaching, but we had been like browsing a bunch of like Unreal courses because he was looking to do something like that, like a collab. The only thing is I always get sort of intimidated by the idea of like game development because I know how time consuming it can be. And I think a lot of times I like doing these sorts of models because I can, work on them for a little while and then move on to the next project. Whereas I feel like a game, you'd be working on it for years and years and years and years, which is kind of why I don't dabble as much in Unreal Engine, because I feel it'll take a lot of time away from Blender for me. So that's the only thing that kind of keeps me from diving into game development. But I'm telling you, a huge reason why I think I fell in love with Unreal Engine is because it finally helped me realize how a game like Zelda, like Breath of the Wild, when I first saw that game, I absolutely was like blown away. I was like, what do you mean someone made this? Like, how does your brain work that you can make like a Breath of the Wild? And once I started learning Unreal and learning about being able to start with like an open world and building your game essentially, and they even have templates that you can start from and then just build on it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I get it. So at some point in my career, I would love to dive in. Yeah. Bye, Kiss. Thank you so much. You're amazing. You're so great. Have a great rest of your day. Good luck on the game. And I'll definitely see you next week for sure. Thanks for jumping in. You're so sweet. Grab on the Z. On the X here. I'm just adding some details. Just adding some details. Let's just do some like cubes as well. We'll do some cubes in like the top corner. Just like maybe some like rectangles. And do like that. Yeah. And these would just be like the nuts and bolts of things. So let's jump out of edit mode, and I guess we could mirror this. This is fine. Actually, before I mirror it, let me shift D. Grab on the X. We'll grab on the Z. We'll just kind of pull it down. And then let me mirror this. So I'm going to go to modifier, mirror. Okay, thank you, Jazz, so much for being in here. You're amazing. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you for all the subs. And I'll definitely subscribe to your channel once I am off here. Have a great rest of your day. Okay, Kiss. Glad you're still here. But yeah, Jazz, thank you. You're the best. Okay, I'm just gonna mirror that. Just kind of get some little action there. I think these little details are kind of helping a lot. Let's get that out of the way. I don't think we're ready for that one yet. And let's see something. Let me grab on the X and see if I do this. Grab on the X. What if I do 2 of these? Nah, I don't love that. Let's do that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I hope one day, I hope one day to be able to dabble in it for sure. For sure. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see what else we got going. Let me look at the other things that I have here. Let's get this heart in here somehow. I think that'll be a fun origin to geometry. I'm gonna rotate on the X 90 degrees. And you know what? It's because I separated by loose parts that everything is kind of being weird. So let me join those 2 pieces. Okay, how's that? That's a really cute piece of geometry right there. I like it. All right, grab on the Z. All right. Second player. If you're thinking of working on 3D game, want to learn more about 3D for games, but so far we're thinking, yes. Oh, I love it. No, also the 2D and 3D is one of my favorites. It's absolutely a stunning aesthetic. Anytime I see it, I'm like obsessed. It was a part of the reason why I was wanting to dive into grease pencil as well. I've done a little bit of work in grease pencil, but 2D and 3D to me is just so sick. I love it so much. So definitely would love to like check that out, you know, once you start putting things together. There's just something about it that's just like mind bending, but also like it's just so cool to me. I also realized, and I mean, I think maybe this is just speaking to like the vintage aesthetic that I'm into, but I'm also really into like the old school PlayStation like PlayStation graphics, like think like Tomb Raider, kind of bringing that back. So I'm just really in my nostalgia era, I think. I think that's kind of where I'm at, because I was noticing the Nintendo Switch has brought back a lot of like old school PlayStation games, like a Metal Gear, like the original like PlayStation version, and Tomb Raider they've kind of remastered. And once I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember playing Tomb Raider, kind of like the doll look of it, you know, like I would love to be able to kind of dabble into that sort of an aesthetic as well, you know? Yes. I would love to dive into that kind of an aesthetic. I'm just like, I'm just adding things. I don't know. We're gonna see. What else can I add to this? I think that looks pretty cool. Let me just look at these and grab some. Let me see. I'll grab some ideas. We do need to do our little, you know what? Let's just do it now. So I'm gonna take this, Shift Control B. Let's do a difference. I don't think it's deep enough. Let's see. Grab on the Y. All right, I gotta pull it out just a little bit so it just intersects a little bit better. And then let me grab that on the Y and pull that in a little bit more, like that. I'm gonna take this, Shift Control B. We'll do a difference. Okay, cool. Oh, it's too deep because now there's a hole. So let me undo that. Let me look at geometry, because we just want it to be let's see, grab on the Y. We don't want it to make a hole, we just want it to be engraved a little bit. Let me see. Let's see, or maybe I might need to thicken up this with like a solidify modifier, but let me try this one more time and see what it gives. Let's jump out of X-ray mode. Also, I don't want it to intersect with that right there, so I'm gonna pull this up just a little. Okay. All right, let's try again. Grab that, Shift Control B. Do a difference. Now I don't think it's enough geometry. Okay. Gotta keep trying. Okay, then this, Shift Control B. Difference. Yeah, I think I gotta give myself a little bit more geometry. But I can't really tell. All right, this is what we're gonna have to do. Let me tab out of here, get out of here. I'm gonna click this. I'm just gonna isolate this by itself. And then let's see what we're working with. Okay, yeah. I think I might need to add like a solidify modifier, because it's gonna be a hole otherwise. Well, no, there's a little bit of geometry. Let me see. Oh, let me see something. Let me play that. So this face needs to be a little more solid, I think. So if I E on the Y, thicken her up. No, I don't want to pull it out. I just want to thicken it. So let's see what we can do. I think it's just really skinny. Let me E. No, that's not what we want. Let's see. Still learning Blender. Oh yeah, low poly is definitely a vibe. Now I was doing a low poly base 2 days ago, but it comes into the model confuses me. Yeah, I feel low poly is definitely a great place to start, and there is a certain aesthetic to a low poly, like low poly creations, but there also is a bit of a skill to it too, there have been plenty of times where I've wanted to dive into the low poly vibes too, and just wasn't sure if I could deliver. You know what, also, if there is a hole, I can just fill it, and there's also that I can just fill the hole and then extrude it backwards. I could also just do that. So that's what we might do. So let me grab on the Y. I think the thing with Blender is you'll go into it thinking, oh, this is going to be easy, or I can do this really quickly. And then sometimes it's not that. It's not that easy. It's not that quick. And that even goes for low poly models. It's like a lot of times you'll think, oh, I'll just quickly make this tree or whatever. And it ends up being a lot more challenging than you thought. But for me, that's where the fun starts, because it's like, can I do this? Can I figure this out? I think that's what I like about Blender. Because I absolutely thought, we were going to bang this typewriter out in no time. I was like, okay, I'll jump in. I'll do a quick, not quick, but, I'll do a 3-hour live. It'll be great. Especially considering I already had the keys modeled from a previous project. So I was like, oof, easy work. And look at us, week 2, still on the base. But nonetheless, we're coming along, so I'm happy about that. Okay, I'm just making sure to save it along the way. Okay, let's see. I'm just trying to make sure that it's cutting into... I feel like I should just get rid of this one and just do it over, because I want it to be pretty much on the same axis. I don't want one to be thicker than the other. So I'm going to bring it over. We're going to put origin to geometry so it rotates appropriately. I'm going to rotate on the Z. Z180. What did I do? Alright, origin to geometry, and then rotate on the Z180. Now we're talking. Grab on the X, just pull it over. Okay. Because I don't want it to cut into that necessarily. Or, no, I don't. Regardless of the model, I don't want it to. Okay, so now let's try this again. Oops. So select this, select that, Shift Control B. Difference. Ooh, baby. Well, that one worked, and that one worked. Okay, cool. It's just the angle that I guess we're looking at that makes it look kind of weird, but it worked, so I love that. So I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna put that into our hide category. Then I'm gonna put that into our hide category. So now we have this little engraving. That looks good. I like that. Okay, cool. Oh, okay, I love when there's like a little vent on the side. I think that's really cool too. Also, maybe we can add that here. Maybe like a little vent here and a little vent here. Like kind of how that looks there. Let me look at the other typewriters. Oh, let me see. I really like the way this one looks. It looks really, I like the worn look of the paint. So definitely when we start doing texturing and stuff, I want to add that. I think that looks really good. I think we need a few more little screws and holes and dots and things, and then we'll move on to the next level of things, because the keys are here, the space bar is there. I don't think there's too much going on in here. This is just going to be kind of black in the background, so that's good where it is. I'll add a few more screws, so let me do that, just so it looks really vintage. That's the vibes that we're going for. We'll do just like maybe one here, super tiny. Let's pull it out. Pull it out a little like that. Let's see. Cute, yeah. Do a bunch of those, you know? Yeah, right. And low poly is like the least learning curve because it's not supposed to be all perfect, but it's supposed to make sense. It's true. It's really true. One of my first projects that I ever did was a Furby. And to be honest with you, I appreciate how like ballsy, for I guess a lack of a better term, but like how ballsy I was in the very beginning of my Blender journey. Because I was like, oh, I'm going to go into sculpt mode. I'm going to sculpt out a Furby. I'm going to add the hair particle system. Like, I really just went for it. I mean, I was using every piece of Blender that I saw in every tutorial. I was like, oh, I could do that. I could do this. And now I feel like I'm more cautious. I'm more nervous about certain things. If I thought about making a Furby now, I would get like a little bit of an anxiety. But I mean, I did it and it came out so cute. And the hair is there and it looks good. It looks great. It's still one of my favorite projects that I've done. And that was one of my first projects ever, which is insane. But, you know, I feel like once you start overthinking it is when things start getting complicated. And that's what low poly challenges you. To just like, don't overthink it. We're working on just like basic shapes here. And that is it. But yeah, even when I hear low poly, I'm still low-key intimidated. And it's like, I'll do these really detailed models, but it's like low poly, I don't know. I don't know if I can handle it. So I'm just adding like little, I guess, imperfections everywhere. Uh-oh. Oh no, not that. We want, ooh. Oh, okay, let me grab that. Grab on the Y. I gotta pull that forward. Something like that. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Alright, let me get closer. Let me get in there. See what we got going. Alright, here we go. Let's grab on the Y. Let's get this on this, where are we? What is this? Grab on the Z. Okay. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. I'm going to grab this on the X because that's kind of inner indentation. That was my issue, overthinking it. Yeah, it's true. It's true. That is, when I was doing my shadow work, that was one of the things that I had to learn to release. Just being perfect. Trying to be perfect, it's just not realistic. And also, you know, especially if you're just doing it for yourself and for fun, there's wiggle room. There's definitely wiggle room. And I think this project in particular is one that I am practicing that right now. Like actively right now, I'm practicing being okay with it not being perfect, because prior to this live, I considered deleting it completely, the whole thing, and coming back and being like, hey, so I deleted it. But I was like, no, I can push this further. And also, I'm not sending this to a client. I'm just doing this to practice modeling, to learn some new things, you know. So I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to use what I got, and we're going to roll with that. And that's perfectly fine. But I definitely considered deleting it. And we worked on what was it? It was a vintage television, which I'm also still working on. I did a vintage television. Maybe I'll show you all before we leave here, before the end of this live. But I was working on a vintage television, which I finished. And the first hour and a half of the live, I was essentially modeling the TV. And it just was not doing what I needed it to do. It was really giving me a hard time. And an hour and a half in, I deleted everything. And we just started completely over. And I was like, I'm so sorry, but I can't continue on like this. It's just, this will drive me crazy. So I deleted it. But honestly, deleting it was the best thing that I could have done, because one, I had deleted and attempted it over and over so many times that I first of all, I flew through it. Like, I was like, okay, I know exactly what I want, exactly what I should be doing. And it came out gorgeous. Like, I love the little vintage TV. So then I moved on off screen, and I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could. Courage the Cowardly Dog was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. So I was like, how fun to put a clip of Courage the Cowardly Dog in the vintage television and have that running. And I was like, I wonder if I could do that. And I wonder if I have the skills to like make that happen. And so I went online and I found a clip from the show, and I put it into the television, and it works and it plays and it's everything, but it makes by the frame, the timeline, it's like almost 2,000 frames. So it's going to take a while to render out. So that's just the only reason why I haven't rendered it, because it's going to put my computer down for a little bit. I'm going to have to just like let it render. But yeah, that was another test in patience and being okay with starting over. And sometimes it works out for the better when you do it that way. So I'm really excited to share that one, because Courage the Cowardly Dog is like one of the best cartoons ever. You know? Thank you. Yes, you are hyping me. And I love, yes, I love the little heart. Isn't it cute? And I'm so appreciative of you being in here with me. It really does help pass the time and just make this, like, you know, more fun. So I'm really grateful for you, and thank you for coming back and hanging with me. So cool. I just think once the textures are on it, it's really gonna kick this up a notch. So I'm trying to not be too critical and go with the flow and let it be what it's supposed to be. All right, cool. I think I'm okay with that. So I'm going to tab out again. Oh, okay, cool. So I just mirrored it. Oh, so it's just going to be both. Yeah, perfect. So I'm just going to bevel, like, I don't know, like that. That feels kind of cool. I like that. Maybe I'll pull it up a little bit. Let me grab on the Z. Just get it like right to the edge. Like right there maybe. We'll do that. And yeah. Alright, I think where we are right now with the base, it's pretty cool. So now we can move up. And I think once we add the texture, that's gonna add some more detail to this here. So I think I'm gonna leave this as is, and we're gonna move on to this part, which I've low-key been dreading. Low-key. Yes, oh my gosh, yes, I'll totally show you. It's the cutest thing. I loved Courage the Cowardly Dog. It was just a masterpiece. To this day, I feel like it's a masterpiece. But I remember my little cousin, there was, when we were younger, her mom was like, oh, you know, basically that she was going to come sleep over my house, and she was like nervous, and my aunt's like, what's going on? Like, you know, why don't you want to sleep over? And she was like, well, Monique watches that really scary cartoon, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I don't like it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It's such a good show though. But I could see where, like, as a kid, it's really, it could have been kind of scary. But I don't know, I just thought it was great. I thought it was a fabulous show. But yeah, I didn't realize, but she's like, yeah, sometimes I didn't want to sleep over because I knew you'd be watching that show. And I'm like, wow. All right, I'm going to take this piece, actually. I'm going to isolate it. And then I'm going to go to the bottom. I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to inset. Like, maybe like that. And I'm going to E. And it's just going to be kind of a... I mean, I have gone on YouTube and like watched it recently. It was creepy. It was very creepy. Like, I will give her that. Absolutely insane. But a classic nonetheless. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. So we mirrored it. So these will be like, I guess, these will be like the knobs, these little knobs here, I suppose. And then I guess we can add some detail to these. So let me tab into edit mode, and I'm just gonna do some things. Let's see what we could do. So first we'll inset, maybe like this much, and then I'm gonna E on the Z, so we'll go down, and then we'll do it again. And inset, and then maybe we'll come up, and then do another one, and maybe I'll come up with this one. Or should I go down? Let's see. Maybe we'll go down. I think that's going to give a little bit better of a detail. I think that looks good. Do something like that. But I love how the whole point of the show is have look it. There's a deeper message, you know? He never backed down. He always was trying to protect Muriel. And was it Eugene? Was that the grandpa's name? But he was always just trying to protect them, no matter how scared he was. You know? So what I was thinking with the vintage TVs is I was actually going to pile like 3 of them on top of one another, and I was going to have Courage in one of them, Hey Arnold in another one, and maybe like Rocco's Modern Life, or like Rocket Power, or As Told by Ginger. I was gonna have just like 3, or Doug even, but like basically 90s Nickelodeon vibes. And I was like, this is gonna take forever to render, but it's gonna be so cool with like the 3 different nostalgic shows playing. So yeah. Horror games. Yes, can you imagine like a 2D Courage the Cowardly Dog-esque game? I would play it 100%. I would absolutely play that. Like, spot on. So, yeah, I'm just really in my nostalgia vintage era, and I don't want to fight it anymore. I'm accepting it. I'm allowing it. I'm going to add some detail on this little base here. So let me add some loop cuts. And I'll do a couple, like maybe, let's do a good amount. 5. We'll do 5. And then I'm going to select the faces. We'll do you. Nope. We'll do this one and this one, and then we'll Alt-E along normals, and I'll just pull it out a little so that there's just like, you know, a little detail there. Cute. A little something like that, right? Oh, Rugrats. Yes, Rugrats. Absolutely. Yeah, Rugrats for sure. You're right. I don't even know what I was thinking. So I would do like Courage, Hey Arnold, Rugrats. Because Hey Arnold is also GOAT for me. I mean, SpongeBob is also GOAT, but that was a little bit later. I want to pay homage to the original GOATs. You know what I'm saying? This is coming along really well. I really like this a whole lot. Let me get rid of these extra. What do I have here? Is this an array map? No, it's not. Okay. I'm going to get rid of these extra pieces. So let me get rid of you. You. I'm going to get rid of these guys. And let's get rid of these guys. 4. Oh my gosh, Rugrats was so good. It was so good back in the day. Okay, it's a little, yeah, I think that's good. Right, okay, let's get rid of these. Boom, like that. Okay. And then I do need to cut this, but I can't even deal with that right now. So we'll leave that. That's progress right there. And I think I'm probably gonna have to use the Shade Smooth modifier because that's not doing it. Deform. What is smooth? Oh, I never use this. Oh, I like this. Oh my gosh, they do, oh my gosh. SpongeBob is top tier, like award-winning cartoonage, okay? Like, to this day, SpongeBob cracks me up. It is so silly. But no, on YouTube, a lot of times there'll be deep dives. Like, I've watched deep dives into Hey Arnold. It's, for me, it's just like one of the greatest cartoons ever created. Like, insane. So, wow, I've never used this modifier. That's kind of crazy how much control it gives. It's really cool. Because a lot of times, like, the bevel won't do exactly what you want. Oh, thank you for the new subscription. You guys are incredible. This has been, like, the coolest, it's been the coolest journey, honestly. being on YouTube. It's really challenged me too in the way of just like making space for content and trial and error, giving myself grace. I feel like I've learned a lot by starting this channel, and I'm really grateful for it. I'm really grateful for it, honestly. I feel like it's kind of messing up my geometry a little bit though. So let me just leave that alone for a little bit. Hey Jan, thank you for the new subscription. Welcome. Yes, I love a good deep dive. I love a good deep, and Hey Arnold has a little bit of a, some of the episodes do have a bit of like a morbid backstory. So, you know, I'm always curious just about where the creator's mind was, you know, and like the older cartoons like a Rocko's Modern Life or Ren and Stimpy. Learning about those and like the deep dives of those is very, very interesting. All right, I'm gonna leave these little knobs alone for now. I'm gonna start working on this little piece. And I am excited to kind of do the paper. That's gonna be kind of cool. Okay, so checking this out, trying to figure out the best way to tackle this. I want to start piece by piece, but not too overwhelming. So this, I think for this, I'm going to save this for the very last part, all this right here. So I think for now, we'll work on this back part. So I did add some blueprints of a typewriter, which are very complicated. Very, very complicated. But I'm hoping they'll help me make sense of the makeup of a typewriter. All right, so we got our knobs. We have our little things here. Okay, now we're talking about this here. So we do kind of have what we need. This is like the piece that you would lift up to hold the piece of paper. And then this would like scroll the piece of paper up and through. So right now, I think we can add these little guys because I think those would hold the paper. So let's do that. This is not going to be perfect, you know, but we're going to do the best we can with what we got. So what I'm going to do to make this simple and not overwhelming, I'm just going to take these pieces. Let me go into this. I'm going to select it all, then I'm going to just select and separate them so I can use them. All right, so I'm going to Shift D, and then I'm going to grab on the X, and I'm literally just going to pull it over, and I'm going to scale. Let me get the origin to geometry. I'm going to scale it up so it's a little bit bigger, right? Like that. I'm digging that. I'm digging that. So we'll do like that. How's that look? That looks good. I feel like I'm excited to texture. Like once we start to get the shading and stuff, it's going to be good. So I'm going to take that same geometry and we'll just mirror it. I feel comfortable with that. So let's mirror on that object. Boom. Right? That's a detail that we need. And then what else can we do? I feel like there's something here. So maybe I'll take this. I'm going to Shift D. I'm going to grab on the Y. Grab on the Z, pull it down. And I'm going to rotate it on the Y 180 so it's upside down. And then I'm also just going to be adding pieces that feel like they should be there. And I think that's okay. Because I feel like something like that would be happening. And then I'll grab on the Y, pull it so it's not fully clipping. Oh my gosh, so many pieces. Maybe something like that. And let me tab into edit mode. I'm going to select all, scale on the Z so it's a little skinnier. grab on the Z, pull it down a bit. Maybe pull it up a little bit more, like that. Yes. Let's grab on the Y. Okay, how's that? I don't know. That feels like something. Okay, also too, I think what'll help, I gotta put a cut into this. I think that's another thing too, because yeah, we gotta Boolean like this out, kind of like that. So I think if we do like cut this out, see how it is kind of cut out right there? We got to do that, and that'll help with making this look more realistic. So let's just see. So I'm gonna just start here. Wait, before I do that, let me study this. Let me study this little model here. Okay, this one is beautiful to me. Oh my gosh, it was stunning. I also do intend on making a really in-depth watercolor shader. I have a program called Rebel, and it's a painting program, so you could essentially paint on your computer. So, but it mimics a real canvas, real watercolor, real acrylic, real oil, depending on what you pick, your medium. I do paint as well, so that's why I fell in love with this program. I went to a VFX conference here in LA at the convention center, and I experienced a Wacom tablet painting. I was able to practice, and it was like out of this world. It was just like a real painting. So I do intend on going into Rebel and creating my own shader and then implementing it. So, you know, this project, I'm comfortable with it taking a little bit of time because I do want it to be beautiful and perfect. Okay, let's see. I'm just wanting this to be, this is so pretty to me. I love it. I wish I could flip this around. Okay. All right, so this, we'll do something like this. So I'll just do a little, something like that. Yes, thank you. I just really am happy to be taking my time with this one because I think it'll be worth it. I'm gonna go inward this time. We'll go like that. Oh my gosh. All right, let me tap into edit mode. And let's see. So I'm gonna, let me scale on the X. A whole lot. And then let me grab on the X, and this is what we're gonna just kind of use as our Boolean tool to create a hole, and then we'll deal with all the like pieces on the inside. I wish I still had my typewriter because then I could like look at it and recreate it, but it's okay. I think I also should give it a bevel, just the smallest bevel though, like not too much. But I want there to be a roundedness when it gets cut. See? Like right here, it'll be kind of rounded instead of sharp. I think that'll look really good. So, I think that's good. Yeah, so we'll cut a hole right here, and then that'll leave a space to make like all these little things on the inside. So let me use this, and then I'm just gonna Control A, apply the transform just in case. Shift click my typewriter. Difference, boom. We love to see it. And then let's take this. I'm just gonna move it and put it into my hide category. At a certain point, it's always good. Yeah, I love a rounded edge. Love a rounded edge. Much better. At a certain point, I like to save a duplicate, because once you start using booleans and cutting and all that, chances of you kind of messing up your mesh start increasing. So I'm just gonna duplicate the base of my typewriter just in case, and just put it in a new collection. And I'm just gonna name it duplicate, just so I have it, just in case things go haywire. And I'll just hide it for now. I'll just do that. Yeah, I love a good rounded edge. I think that looks good. And then that way we can add all the little pieces. Okay, let's see what else. It's looking like there might be like one more piece that we can add. So if I go ahead and apply this and then tap into edit mode again, select all, and then just separate them so I can use them separately. Shift D, let me grab on the X, and then this time with this one, let me tab into edit mode, and I think I'm gonna scale on the X and make it long, kind of like that. Just to give that a little extra detail. I don't know. Whatever. That works for me. Have I used layers? I haven't. I don't think I've used layers. Like, where is it? What is it? Where can I find that? Okay, so I think that's kind of giving. Now let's see if I can start figuring out what we got going on here. Feeling like, let me look at the blueprint. Maybe the blueprint can give us a better, let's go over here. All right, cool. So let's just start, I'm just gonna start adding shapes. I'm not gonna think too much into it. I'm just literally gonna add a shape and see what happens. Let me just use this as a reference, just so I have something to put it to. We'll do that. And tab into edit mode. And I'm gonna do edge select, and we'll take this edge, scale it down so that maybe it's like that. I feel like that would be a thing. And then I'm gonna select this edge, and then we'll control B. We'll just give it a tiny bevel. Oops, let's do a little bit more. Do like that maybe, right? And then let me grab on the Z, right? I don't know, that, I feel like that would be there. The layers are at the top of the right corner. Where you see view layer. It's like a drawing layers when you don't want to make mistakes. Oh, okay. Right. Let me see. I have heard about, I have used, oh, this right here, right? So you know what? I have never used layers, but I have done scenes. I have created like new scenes. I've used that. And that actually is a really clutch tool to use. But layers I haven't used. So I'm definitely gonna take note of that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna use this again. So I'm gonna apply it, and I'm gonna tab in, select all P, loose parts, tab, boom. I'm gonna shift D. I'm gonna use this again, because there's a knob on the side, And let's just rotate on the X90. Hold on. You gotta get origin to geometry and then rotate on the X. And then we'll do the Z. And then I'm gonna tab into edit mode, select all, and then I'll scale it down. Grab on the Y. Oops, maybe the X. Let me back up a little bit. Grab on the X. Pull it over. Right? Because that's what I'm seeing. A little knob right there. Grab on the Z. Maybe put it just above this little guy. And then I think another thing that we can do. Let me tab out. I'm going to take this, right? And then I'm going to Shift D. Grab on the Z. I'm just going to put a bunch of these guys in here. And we'll just do different sizes. So let me tab in, scale you down. Yeah, I'll scale you down. And then E on the X. Scale on the X, Let me just make sure. So I feel like these are all the pieces that would kind of keep it, I don't know, all together. Maybe something like this, right? When I tell you I am winging it, I couldn't be winging it anymore. I have no idea what would go in here. But these blueprints, like, all the blueprints I was finding were literally like this. And it's like, what? I guess this is pretty solid because this is like a big roll, another roll, 2 knobs on either side. But what's underneath, I don't know. So it's gonna be great regardless. What is this one telling me? Anything good? I think the knob situation, there's really only 2 and I have 3 here. But whatever. I think it's okay. It's okay. Alright, so let's just maybe duplicate a couple more of these. Grab on the Z. Let's maybe grab on the Y, pull it maybe back this way. I just feel like once we get the shading in and it's like dark, it'll look really cool. So that's why I'm just adding these. Shift D, let's grab on the Y, maybe grab on the Z, pull it up a little bit. Alright, let's go back to this little guy here and see what else we got. It's a little, let me zoom out. Just gonna add a few more shapes. And then I'll just end up mirroring things. So let's do that. We got the knob. Just a little square there. So let's do this. Let me just cylinder. So I'm just gonna hide these guys for 1 second. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do some squares. We'll just do some long ones, some short ones. I don't know, I just feel like adding some, and then what we'll do is we'll take these same pieces and we'll just kind of pull them out. let me grab you on the Y, and then I'm gonna tab into edit mode and we'll E on the Y. Oops. Oh baby. Scale on the Y here. Do something like that. I don't know, I'm just like making random shapes. Oops. Let me select all, grab on the X, pull you over a little bit. You know, and then because once we pull these guys back, maybe we can like have, we'll grab you, maybe we'll have it something like that. I want to make something, let's see, I'm gonna take, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take this piece right here, let's grab on the Y, pull you out a little bit. I'm gonna tab into edit mode. I'm gonna take this face, I'm gonna shift D, P, selection, so this is our geometry, tab out, and I'm gonna grab this one, tab back into edit mode, select all. I'm gonna scale you up. I'm gonna grab you on the X. We'll do that. And then here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna isolate this. Tab into edit mode. I'm gonna go to vertices and maybe we'll select like this. Get rid of this. And then E on the Z, come on down. We can look over here and see what's happening. So let's go over here. Yes, that's exactly what we want. And then let's fill that so it's kind of like that. And then select all, we'll fill the whole thing, tab out. So it's kind of going to be like, we'll attach these two pieces together, if that makes sense. And then I'll select these three. We'll isolate y'all. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this piece because I want it to kind of be like wrapping around. So actually, before I do that, let me go here, and then I'm gonna tab into edit mode, and we're gonna inset, but I want to go here like that. Let's go into X-ray mode, and I'm gonna inset so that we can see what we're working with. Maybe something like that. And then edge select, grab this, grab on the Z, we'll pull this one down. Actually, let's just dissolve this edge. Maybe we don't want to dissolve it. Let me just grab on the Z. I'm gonna pull it down, and then what I'll do is I'll take these two edges and I'm gonna merge. Nope. I'm gonna merge by distance. I want them to just basically become one. So I've also found in these circumstances when there's two edges that it helps to click both. We don't want it to collapse. We don't want that either. Let's see if we can make it work otherwise. I'm gonna take my face select and I'm gonna just get rid of it like that. Let's come out of X-ray mode. And then maybe, yeah, I think we can now, let's see, I want to get rid of one of these edges, so let me figure out which one it is. I think it's not that one. So let's see. I'd love to merge them, but I don't know why. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that kind of sucks. But anyway, that's going to be hidden anyway, so I'm not going to trip off that too much. All right, let me select all. Well, you know what? Let me select all these guys. And then what I'll do is I'm gonna Alt E along normals. I'm just gonna pull it back. This is really giving me a run for my money, huh? I'm gonna just select these two edges. So I'll select this guy. I'm gonna select this guy. Nope. Get in a little bit closer. I'll select this one. Let me undo this really quickly. Because sometimes, okay, we'll start there. And then I'm gonna do this. Well, hold on, let me do this one. And this one. And then we'll fill it, and then we'll do the other ones. So then I'll select you guys, and then we'll fill that, and then that leaves kind of an opening. And we're gonna hide this, so I think I'm not, oops. I think I'm not gonna trip off this too much. I'll just leave it kind of like that. But I just wanted it to look like it was kind of wrapping around the ball. All right, so let me grab on the Z. It's kind of like hugging it. That's what we're gonna do. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Okay, let's select all, scale on the Y. Maybe a little something like that, and then I'm gonna scale out just a little. Maybe like that. Yeah, I think that's fine. I just want it to look like it's kind of attached. So I'm gonna grab on the X. And maybe we'll do like that. Yeah. I just feel like the more tiny little details you add, the better it just ends up looking in the end. So, although this isn't going to matter in the grand scheme of things, I just feel like it's just going to be better this way. So we'll do that. And then what I'll do is I'll take these two pieces and I'll grab on the Z and I'm just going to put it in there. And let's rotate on the X slightly because there is like a tilt. I mean, that could be a piece, right? That would happen maybe on a typewriter. And then let's see what we could do to this cube. If I grab this edge, you know, it's like, who's to say that wouldn't be happening? That could be happening on the inside. That feels fine. And I'll mirror a lot of this stuff too, you know? Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best, entering flow state where you just kind of allow the vibes to take over. You know what I mean? Like, this is by no means what a typewriter looks like on the inside, but if you look at this, you'll know what it is. And I think that's pretty cool. I think we can pull this down just a little bit more. So I'm going to pull you down, get you really in there. Oh my gosh. Once we get all these little pieces in here done, I'm going to feel so much better because what? Let me mirror this. I'm going to put this same little piece. I'm going to mirror all these things so we can really start seeing things coming to life. So I'll leave. So yep, that mirrored. I'm going to click this little guy. We'll mirror you as well. Let's click this. See, so now we have it on both sides. I want to do the piece of paper. Let's get that piece of paper in there, because I think that'll really elevate this and just make it look so good. So how are we going to model the paper? We're going to need a plane, of course. Okay. I'm going to tap. Ooh. So I'm going to shift A. We're just going to do a plane. Let me tab in to edit mode. I'm going to scale you down to about the size of a piece of paper. Grab on the Z. Let me rotate you on the X 90. And let's grab you on the Y. And the paper would go, it would be coming out of here. Let me look. It would be coming, yeah, so it's essentially here. And okay, so we'll just do it for there. Let me grab you on the Z, pull you up, scale on the Z. We don't need it to be that. Do like that. Okay, and then let me grab on the Y. I'm gonna pull you this way. Okay, and then let's see. Now the way in which we'll do it is we gotta subdivide a bunch. So I'm gonna do maybe like 100. Too much. That might be a bit much. We can do 50. Let's do 50. Okay, we'll do 50. That feels good. Let me tab out. I'm gonna save it now, just in case. And let me come back here. Paper is a little bit wide, so let me scale on the X. Okay. Maybe like that. And then what we're going to use is the proportional editor, I think, to get this to bend. So I'm going to go into that, click O for proportional editing. Let me look on the X. Before I do that, let me just click the middle. And let me grab. Let's make this much bigger. think actually I want to grab up here and then grab I also am always appreciative when I can use the proportional editing, because I feel like the proportional editing is very useful if you kind of learn how to use it. Alright, so I think it would be something like this. And then if I rotate you. Alright, let's look at that from the front. Oh, fun. That gives piece of paper, right? Love that. And essentially, like, this could kind of loop around, but it's not critical in this moment. But I think that looks pretty cool. Oh, I like it. It's coming along. I really like this. And I can even go as far as like adding text onto here, which could be really fun. I want to add some more details, so I'm gonna shift D. I'm gonna grab this on the Y, grab on the Z, and I'm gonna put our little cap there. It just feels incomplete without it. Let me tab into edit mode. I'm gonna select all, grab on the Z, and then I'm gonna scale it up just a bit. And then we'll grab on the X and just get the cap on there like that. Tab out, and then same thing, we'll mirror. Generate mirror. Boom, boom. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm very proud of this, honestly. I really am. Alright, here's what we gotta do. We gotta get rid of this. It's time. It's time to cut this off. I've been dreading it because I just didn't know how I would tackle it, but I think the only option that I have is to use the knife. Unless, let me see. If I just grab on the Z, is that... I could just... I guess I could just do it like this. Let me see. Let me look at a couple options. So I'm going to use the knife tool and see what happens. So let me just select out. Let me do knife tool. And then... No, that's not what we want to do at all. Alright, so I think I will do this. So I'm going to grab these. Let's just do one. And just see how it turns out. I'm going to grab on the Z to about here. And then let me rotate on my Y. No, we're going to rotate on the X maybe. Nope. Alright, so first things first, let's at the minimum pull these down. So do that. So I'm going to grab these on the Z. Come on down. Like that. Grab you guys on the Z. Kind of like that. And then I'll grab this on the Z. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to do this, but I can't think of it right now. So we're going to try this and see how it turns out. Okay, Okay, grab on the Z. Let's grab these, grab on the Z. Grab on the Z. Okay. I mean, at the minimum, they're lower, and that's progress. Okay. Okay, and then let me take you, grab you as well. And you know what? I think this is okay. Hi. Hi, Yana. I hope I'm saying it right. Welcome in. So glad to have you. Just working on this little vintage typewriter. Trying to figure out what the best way to get these little, I don't even know what these are called, but the best way to kind of get these down. What are you up to today? How's your day going? Happy Monday. Grab on the Z. Library videos. Could you please consider making... Oh my gosh, of course. Absolutely. You know what? I may already have a Discord. I do have the Discord app on my computer, on my phone, I believe. But absolutely, I would love to make a Discord where we can all like brainstorm together and work on stuff together. I would love that. So say less, consider it done. I'll definitely jump on that today. We'll get it going, no problem at all. And thank you for jumping in. Thank you for joining. I think with Discord, I don't fully know how to use it yet. I have used it. I've done some like Sims streaming on Twitch. So I did have a Discord for the Sims. But as far as my 3D, I don't think I have one. But I can absolutely make one. That's no problem. No problem at all. Yes, absolutely. And that is the hope here, of course, to just like be able to connect and to be able to just like help one another and support one another in our journeys. So you bet. I think it's a brilliant idea. And it absolutely does feel like the next step for sure. So thank you for reminding me. And I'll definitely get on that today for sure. Mondays are kind of like my intentional 3D days. Like I try to save these to be the days that I focus on my 3D content. So I can absolutely fit that in my schedule today for sure. Definitely feels like the right next step. Oh, also I have this new, I figured out this new shortcut. So XZ, what is it? So we want to SXZ0. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I found this new shortcut and it'll like flatten, put it at 0. So you want to S, which is like scale, X on the X axis, Z, and then press 0, and then it flattens it. So I think last week I was looking for that and I couldn't figure out what it was, and we figured it out. That's exactly what we're looking for right here. Okay, so I'm gonna do that for all of these. Just popped in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, SXZ0. Boom. Let me undo that because I didn't get all of them. So I'm going to select, make sure all these are selected. Okay, SXZ0. Boom, look at that. It's so cool. You and Valorian and another YouTuber named Ella are my favorite YouTubers. It would be amazing to see you guys collaborate. Oh my gosh. Yes, if you could drop their at in the chat, and I'm going to follow them. I would love to connect with them. And yes, I also play The Sims is like one of my favorite games of all time. I'll probably be 80 years old, with grandchildren running around, and I'm still playing The Sims. Like, I am absolutely obsessed. And I was wanting to start a second page streaming The Sims because a couple years back I was on Twitch and I would stream The Sims, and it was absolutely the best time. I got raided a couple times and I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So fun though. So I definitely do want to get back into some of my Sims gameplay. I was wanting to just get my Blender content a little bit more automated and established before I started taking on having to edit like Sims content. And obviously when you play The Sims, it's for hours and hours at a time, so the content editing the content can be a bit overwhelming, and I'm already a bit overwhelmed when it comes to like editing Blender content. I have so many hours of content recorded that I still haven't edited, so I just didn't want to bite off too much, but I'm really excited to start my Sims page in the near future for sure. I love The Sims. There is some Sim streams on this page still. I didn't delete it. I kind of just left it there. So I do have some playlists where I will play kind of to a lo-fi. Then there is some that I am like on camera. And then there's also some where I'm just like playing it. And I walk you through it. And then I do have some edited. But considering you could easily play The Sims for 8 hours, it's a lot of content to edit. So it's a lot when you're doing kind of everything on your own. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we got this done. This is great. But yeah, drop their channels in the chat. I definitely want to follow them. And I'm honored to be one of your favorite YouTubers. That makes me so honored and happy. And thank you. I love it. Makes me very, very happy and proud. Very proud. So thank you. This has been a really wonderful stream. It's been a huge boost in my confidence for sure. But I was really looking forward to today's live, not only to just keep diving into this project, but just to connect with you all and just, do the thing that I love. I love Blender. I love challenging myself. I love connecting with people in a non-performative way, of course. I think I'd mentioned, like, I'm in the bar industry. I'm a bartender here in LA when I'm not on the computer. And although I love that too, it's fun, it's a really fun vibe and everything. It can be very performative. It can be really exhausting. So I'm always grateful when I can just kind of come on and chill and model. It's the whole thing. Because my hope is that, I can create an environment that I can just, chill and model for the rest of my life. That is sustainable. Bartending, not so much, but this I can definitely get down with. So yes, you guys are so amazing. I don't quite remember Ella's user, but I'm going. There's so many thoughts to figure out. Okay, perfect. I'm going to definitely follow her and let her know that you sent me too, because that's huge. It's so huge. And I'm always looking to connect with like other lady creators. Like, to me, just being able to connect with other women in the space, in the field, is just like such an honor. So after this, I have so many people to follow. So I'm excited. Maybe a boost of confidence. See some supporters. Oh, thank you so much. You're so amazing. Thank you for the kind words. I'm like glowing right now. I'm like beaming. You know, it's definitely, it's been a wonderful experience, like really cool community. And I'm grateful to be a part of it. 100% grateful. Like, wouldn't change a thing. I think everything happened in divine timing. There were so many years that I was wanting to start a channel, but I just was so overwhelmed and intimidated by it. So it's like, I think everything happened when it was supposed to. I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I think I'm connecting with the people I'm supposed to connect with. And yeah, I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. I wouldn't. Okay, I'm feeling like, I feel like maybe this one should have another knob, so I'm going to shift D. I'm going to grab on the Z. And let's grab on the X. I don't know, maybe on the Y. Nope, maybe we're good there. Let's grab on the X, pull you in. And then I want to make it a little bit bigger, just so there's some contrast and everything isn't exactly the same size. So we'll do that one a little bit bigger. I really like this. I think it's coming along really great. I'm gonna bevel this piece here, this and this, and do that. Maybe like that, just to give it a little contrast, maybe. I think that's giving typewriter, you know? Also, I'm in Valerian's Discord server. I think you should also go to connect. Yes, okay. Okay, beautiful. Yeah. No, I'm excited because what I'll do when I get off of here. Sorry, that's my bubbly sparkling water. When I get off here, I'll definitely jump in the Discords, work on my Discord. I'll definitely reach out to Valerian and, you know, let them know that you sent me, and subscribe for sure. I'm always looking for new people to connect with on YouTube. I love, of all the social medias, I feel the most connected to YouTube. I don't know what it is about it. I do have a TikTok where I do post things. I also utilize TikTok for like editing and stuff. So I like TikTok. Love Instagram. But there's just something about YouTube that just feels aligned to my 3D creative spirit. I think part of it is because I do love long form. I love really extensive tutorials. If I could work on a tutorial for weeks at a time, I'm in. Like, I love that. Which I think is why I probably like this project as well, because it's taking a little bit of time. So yeah, I think I love YouTube the most if I had to choose. So I'm gonna add a vent because I like the idea of like a little detailed vent right here. So I'm just gonna take a little rectangle and maybe we'll do it like this big and pull it out like that, right? Just like that. And then I don't want it to be too big though. Okay, so we're gonna leave that just like that. I think that's perfect. And then I'm gonna just do the array modifier, and on the Y, maybe not the Y, what is it, the X? Okay, and we'll do something like this. Like that, you know? Just so it's kind of like a little vent. Let me give it maybe just a little bit more space. So 1.3. Yeah. That looks cool. I like that. And what we'll do, I'm gonna tab into edit mode and I'll just grab, I'm gonna hit 2 for the edges. Just gonna select this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge, and we'll just do a little bevel. Like literally so small. Like that. Yeah, I think I like that. I really love supporting newer YouTubers. Oh, thank you. I mean, yeah, we can animate it. That could be really fun. I mean, we could really push this. We could push this so far. I think, honestly, looking back on all of my vintage work that I've done over the past month, it was only supposed to be like a month of vintage, and then I was going to move on to the next thing. But as I was trying to consider what would be the next thing, I was like, oh, but I'm not done with the vintage. Because now I'm like, oh, I want to do a sewing machine and I want to do all these things. And it's like, I could do a vintage series and animate. So I have, before I leave the live today, I'll jump into some of the previous stuff that we've done. Like my gumball machine, gorgeous. Like by the time I was done, I was like, I can't believe, first of all, that I did this. But also I have to animate it now. Like it's critical. So I also don't want to get in the habit of making these very like detailed models and just like not doing anything with them really. So it's like, yeah, we can absolutely animate this. I do have a I don't know why it's always offset a little bit, but I do have a typewriter robot that I'm working on, or that I completed. He's done, or she's done. They're done. And I did animate the keys a little bit, so it would kind of like move like this. And so we could do that. And I use constraints. That's when I learned how to use constraints, where it wouldn't let it move past a certain point. So we can totally like animate the keys, and we can animate the paper, and even just like the scrolling of this. So we can absolutely like push this considerably far. I have no problem with that. I think I'm getting in the space where I'm comfortable revisiting projects and just not having them be like one and done kind of situations. So, and I would also love to get into some animation on this channel too. I do have some tutorials on my page where I've animated things, but I've never done any kind of animation live yet. So, oh my gosh, why is it way over there? It's so funny. Oh, it's in the back. Okay. Let me grab on the Y and pull you forward. There we go. Amazing. Let me grab on the Y. Let me use this because I'm kind of trying to get this. Okay. So let me grab on the Y, pull you forward. Because I think I could fill it in with this little detail here. So let me pull you over a little bit. There we go. And then if I rotate, see what we could do here. I kind of want this to like circle that little guy. So that'll come out when, oh, thank you so much. I made a typo. Oh, no, you're good. No worries at all. I knew what you were putting down. I'm picking up what you're putting down. No worries. No, I'm excited. I think it'll be really, really good. I'm so pumped. Like, And also too, having you all in the chat and interacting and just kind of letting me know what would be the most helpful. Like, that's the whole reason I'm here. Like, I want to learn and figure out like what the community is looking for, what the community needs. So I'm all ears. A Discord is no problem at all. It's absolutely doable. So we gonna do it. It's doable, and we gonna do it. So, no, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for any and all feedback, because my hope is essentially to be of support. I mean, I'm not the best Blender artist, and I don't know all the tricks and everything, but I'm learning actively. And if while I'm learning, you're learning, that's where it's at for me. Like, that's the sweet spot, because I've had mentors that have supported me along the way and that have helped me through my journey. So if I could do even close to what I've experienced from my mentors, who also have been women, then I think I'm doing a good job. I forgot that we have a little detail there, so I might have to change up what I'm thinking as far as this little piece goes. Just kind of playing with it. I just don't want it to look so empty, so we'll see. Maybe that's not the spot for it, so let's just try something else. Let me rotate. See what we could get done here. Here, I'm gonna go into, I need some shadows because this is kind of, do I have any lighting in this scene? Let me see. No. Oh wait, I have my HDRI. Okay. Because I'm like losing where that little Boolean cutout is, and it's kind of confusing me. Let me rotate. I'm just kind of playing with where I can add more detail. Let's go back into here. Where it doesn't look like, I mean, this is kind of good. Kind of like this. I can scale it a bit. That's kind of a vibe. And if I mirror it, that could work. And even if maybe I scale it up, if I grab on the Z, on the X, and then rotate it so it kind of connects, maybe not that, I don't like that. We'll leave it there. I think that kind of works. Is it turned? Let me see. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Let me rotate. Hold on, let me get the transforms all back to 0. Let me get the rotations. Because, there we go. Okay. Now we can fix it. And then I'll pull it back on the Y. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. I just think if we have like really pretty engravings, that'll really just speak to the vintage vibes. Let me scale, and I'm gonna rotate on the X, maybe on the Y. Right, okay, because I think I was free rotating, and that's why it kind of looked weird. Okay, I kind of like that. That's pretty good. And then I'll just mirror it. I don't know, we'll see. Oh my gosh, okay, the 3D elements. So I didn't make them. My cheat code is actually, I use dafant.com, DAFANT.com. And what I'll do is I'll go on there and I will find a font that has symbols. So this particular one is, so if you shift A, go into text, I'll isolate the text so we can see what we're doing. And then you just tab into edit mode, and we'll just leave it saying text, right? So once you download the text that you like, just go on to font.com, look for symbols that you like. I've used this for like all different sorts of projects. And then you go into, when you go to select your font, the font that I found, it's called Dingleberries. So each letter is a different symbol, right? So it's like these really pretty symbols. So it's like, you know, all these different, you can use numbers, and it'll have all these different like really pretty shapes. And then once you find the ones that you like, I'll literally, so let's just say, let me tab out it. Let me go back in. I'll pick one actually. Let's just see, because maybe we can add some more detail even. We like, let's see what they got. Okay. And let's just say we pick this one. We'll just pick this one for now. Right? So what I'll do, let me just get rid of the ones that we don't need. Like that. This is kind of like my cheat code, because can you imagine modeling these? Like, it's just never gonna happen. There's no way. So let's just say we like this one, right? So that's a text now. I'm gonna tab out of edit. I'm gonna tab out of edit mode. And then I'm just gonna right click, and then you just convert it to a mesh. Then you can tab back into edit mode, select the whole thing, and then I'll just like E on the Z, make it thicker like that, tab out, and then let's rotate on the X 90, and then boom. Now you have this beautiful piece of geometry that you can add to your project. And it's just so much easier than having to do it from scratch. And once I learned that, I was like, oh, it's game over. So that's what I do for all these little pieces. So when I did my gumball machine, and I'll show those before I get off today, but I used a lot of these. And Dingleberry, I just love it. I think it fits the vintage vibe. It's very elegant. It's very pretty. So I love it. I haven't been back onto font to find more symbols, but I definitely will, because I just love the way it looks. I think it's so beautiful. And since we have this, we may as well use it. So let's use it. I think this one's really nice. I'll put it at the base here. And then, yeah, you can just like manipulate it the same way you would any piece of geometry, which is like really cool. So I guess I could make like a quick little short doing that, because I think people would really like that. It saves a lot of time, honestly. And it just adds a level of detail that is just so pretty. Let's grab on the X. Yes, right? You gotta work smarter, not harder. That's what they say. So I'm like, it's so interesting, because in the beginning of my Blender journey, my dad, he also uses 3D software. He's mostly like an Unreal guy. And a lot of Unreal is, you know, going into the marketplace and utilizing the marketplace for assets. And love that workflow. But for me, because I'm into modeling, there's just something about modeling an object that really just like hits the right spots for me. So for a long time, I just felt like if I wasn't modeling it, I was cheating. But once I got over that, I was like, I get to use all the tools to my discretion, and this makes the models look even better. And it's not cheating, you know? It's just fine. You're just using the tools available to you. So once I got over that, I was like, okay, we can really elevate. We can really elevate these models. I think if I do this and then grab on the X like this and then rotate on the Z 180, then grab on the X and do something like this, now we're talking. How cute is that? And then we'll just move that little screw. We'll move this. I'll grab on the Z, pull this up. Yeah. Something like that. And then grab on the X. Oh, I love this. How cute. How long? I think I've been using Blender now. I think it's been about 3 years, I think. It's been 2 or 3 years, I think, since I've been using Blender. My first really big project was Blender Guru's donut tutorial, and I think that was about it was either 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember, but it's been a few years. And honestly, I don't know. I just feel like such a beginner still when I compare myself to other Blender artists, which is why I love these lives, because I feel like I can come on and still be a beginner and like fumble through projects. But I will say it's been about 3 years. But I will say I have noticed growth. I'm not gonna pretend like I haven't gotten better, because I do know that I've gotten better, because I probably wouldn't have been able to do this at all in the very beginning. Of course not. But I still feel like such a newbie. So it's always funny when people don't perceive me as that way, because that's kind of how I perceive myself. Jasmine, welcome back. Hi. I know we're still going. How long have we been on? Oh, 3 hours. That's spot on. It's exactly right. Yeah, I don't know. I still consider myself like a newbie, but I pick these sorts of models because I want to challenge myself. I want to challenge my abilities. I want to challenge what I'm capable of, how far I can push myself. So that's why I think I love these vintage projects, because I feel like vintage items, period, were just so much more intricate, and people who created these kind of objects cared so much about detail. And it's beautiful to me. Like these typewriters, can you imagine if you had this sitting on a desk? Like what a beautiful thing to like look at every day, you know? So I am inspired when I see these sorts of things. So for me, when I look at these, I look at it as a challenge, because when I look at it, I'm like, oof, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna pull every trick out of my hat that I know so far. And don't get me wrong, there are times that I have to step away and like take a break. My rotary phone that I was working on, I had to step away from that because me and the curve modifier weren't getting along. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what is the problem? Why can't I figure this out? It's so hard. And yesterday I spent some time and finally figured it out. And I was able to post up a short about it as well, like the top 5 things that I learned or wish I knew about the curve modifier before trying to work with it. Huge thing with the curve modifier, the origin matters, the cursor to world origin matters, where you start building the geometry matters. And in a lot of tutorials that I saw, they didn't mention that, which left me like very lost and very frustrated. So I just like use these as opportunities to learn. And if I can mess up and fumble and someone else can learn while I'm messing up, like that's my hope for the channel. Of course, I love the polished, exactly 30-minute tutorials. Those are great too, but you know, show me the hiccups and the mess ups and the frustration, you know. Professional, thank you. um for the Sims 4 movies or episodes, also animate. You know what? Funny thing about it is I use mods in my sim games. I use mods. Currently, my Sims game is a little broken because I do have some mods that are messed up from the new updates. So I utilize mods huge. And I'm like, wait a minute, I work in 3D. This is what I do. So I could absolutely start diving into even creating furniture. I could literally make a couch that I mod that I could put into my game, which is, it blows my mind because it's like the idea that I would have a sim that is sitting on a couch that I made is crazy. Don't get me wrong, I don't really know how to mod it and to how to like put it in to the game, but I recognize that a lot of modders use programs like Blender to make hair and clothes and furniture and things like that. So at some point, I do imagine the worlds colliding at some point. But I think for now, I've just kind of been focusing on getting better in Blender. But I feel like once I feel confident, but I just feel once I feel extremely confident, then I can start colliding both worlds for sure, which is why I had mentioned earlier that I wanted to start my second YouTube channel, which would be, you know, just The Sims and all those things. So I do see a lot of potential in my Blender world and in all of that. But right now, I think my priority is creating a community in Blender that serves the Blender community, and then everything else is kind of like secondary. But the want is there, the hope is there, the intention is there for sure. When I think about like my career as a whole and who I want to be in the grand scheme of it all, I always consider the things that bring me the most joy and how can I make a living off the things that bring me the most happiness. And for me, The Sims and Blender are like the two things that when, you know, the world is too noisy and things are just so insane, if I jump in painting as well, like painting is another one of my outlets. But between The Sims, painting, and Blender, those are the things that bring me the most peace and calm. So in my mind, those would be the things that I would put my energy towards as far as a career. So the intention, the hope is absolutely there, you know, it's absolutely there. So, yeah, I'm really excited for that. I really am. I think you better be downloading the Sims Mod Manager. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it definitely, I have the new fairy pack. And, I made a fairy yesterday because I was just like in the vibes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make a fairy. It's going to be so cute. And so I made her and I was like, you know, my game has been crashing randomly. So let me save it. I was like, let me save this household before I even consider moving her into a household. And it crashed immediately after I saved. And I was like, oh my God. Thank God I saved it because I had just finished. So yeah, I will download that because something is corrupting it, and the idea of going through every single mod is so daunting. So I've just kind of been like winging it. I'm like, when it crashes, it crashes. Oh well. Oh, I really like this. This is really doing it for me. I really, really, really love where we are with this. I think I want to add, I probably will have some pieces coming from underneath, and you know what, maybe even, let me see, I'm going to do something. I want to select, what's this face right here? I don't think I can get in there. So I'm just going to leave that alone for now. I'm not going to trip off that because I was going to kind of create a bit of a hole, but I can also just boolean a little hole in there and then just have some metal pieces coming from underneath to make it like symbolize, I don't know, all the mechanisms on the inside here. I noticed there's like a arm. There's like an arm right here. I don't know what that is exactly, but we can add it. Yeah, let me just add that little arm, whatever that is. Oh my gosh, I bought it. Immediately I bought it because fairies is my dream. It was my dream pack. So the moment I saw it, I was like, oh my God, fairies. But anytime a new pack comes out, I anticipate my game breaking completely. And most times it's MC Command Center that, you know, is the culprit. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'll just, you know, update the MC Command Center and hopefully that'll do it. And unfortunately, it wasn't that. So I'm like, oh gosh. And so typically I'll try to keep the mods that are usually broken, which I have found are like MC Command Center, the more traits mod, and like more columns. So those are the 3 that I have found tend to break my game when there's like a new update or a new pack. So I did update those, and those don't seem to be the culprit. So now I'm just kind of like, oh gosh, I have no idea what it could be. And honestly, prior to the pack coming out, I had downloaded a bunch of fairy like outfits and accessories and things to go with to go along with the pack. And so I'm kind of nervous that it could be like a shirt or something that's corrupting the game. So I'm like, ugh, I just don't have the patience right now to like go through every single thing and figure it out. But yeah, I bought it. I'm like the ultimate consumer when it comes to The Sims. Like, it is almost pathetic at this point. I think I have every pack except the life and death, because I don't allow my Sims to die. Absolutely not. Never ever. There's no way. I'm never going to kill my Sim. They live forever. So their children will be adults, and they're still adults as well. It's like we're all going to be here forever. So I didn't want the life and death path because I never play with Ghost. Like, no way. No way. The thought of it is like stressing me out just thinking about it. I'm like, mm-mm. And if they do die, I'm turning the game off and we're starting over, because no. Like, you do not get to die, you know? I'm just making whatever this little handle is. I don't remember there being a handle on my typewriter back in the day, but if this one has it, we're gonna make it. And then what I'll do is I'll select this face here, and I'll grab on the Z. Oh no, just kidding. I'm gonna E on the Z, so that it's just this piece that comes out. And then I'm gonna use the subdivision modifier for this because it's a little too sharp. So we'll do that. It's a little handle thing. And then we'll subdivide the surface, and we'll do that. Boom. And then what I'll do is I'll add a few loop cuts so we can sharpen it just a bit. So do that. Maybe we'll do 10 cuts. Yep. How's that? Okay. That works. Please be detailed, knowledgeable. Like you, please elaborate. I must witness. Oh my gosh, I love this. I'm so pumped to like check out her channel. Seriously. Sims community. She's helped me with pollen before. Oh, I love this. I love. No, I'm obsessed with that, and to know that she's like kind, and that just makes me even more excited. No, that is the first thing I'm doing when I get off here. I'm going to subscribe to Jazz's channel. She has a lifestyle channel, so I'm going to subscribe to that, and then tap into your recommendations for sure, and then also start that Discord up. Because I think too, you know, just making sure that that's what the community is looking for also matters to me. So knowing that that would be something that's helpful for you is all I need to know. That's literally all I needed. So, for sure. I'm really excited to like connect. Okay, cool. So I think that's a cute little handle. Don't really know what it's attached to though, if I'm being honest. Let me grab on the Z. I guess we could put it maybe like here for now. I don't know. We'll just put it there. We'll let it float there. I'll figure out where it can go in a bit. But okay, that's a piece as well. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy at how this looks and how this is turning out. Let me save it. Command save. Maybe we'll do one more week of this next week. I'm not going to put a time limit on this because I just don't think it's necessary to put a time limit on it. I do want this to be completed, you know. I want this to look how it's supposed to look. So I'm just going to allow the flow state of it all to be. So I think as far as this model goes today, this one, I'm going to stop here so that next week maybe we can just like finalize the details. I can do a tiny bit more research to figure out what's going on underneath here. Really try to figure that out. I'm going to fix this little piece here. We can definitely add some like details like cursive on the piece of paper. And then we can do the shading and like texture everything. And then maybe the next week we can do some animation. That could be really, really fun. I think I would really enjoy that. So, yeah, I think I really want to do that. So before I go though, I want to show you all, like I'd mentioned, I'm going to show you my vintage television and show you, yeah, let me show you my vintage television because the plan that we have to do, so let me go to my vintage TV. I think this is the one. I might have two files. But I'm going to show you the intention for this, and I just have to render this out, but the amount of frames is so unbelievable. And I wanted to also add some really cool stuff in the background. I wanted to put some stuff on the wall and things like that. So, okay, cool. So I think we're here. Let me see. Make sure everything is in the right place. Okay, cool. So here's my vintage TV. We did this on live some weeks ago. This might have been like the second or third vintage thing that I did. So we did this on live together And I kind of just left it there. I didn't really do much else. So once I revisited it, I was like, okay, like how can I elevate this and make it just a little bit better? And I was like, oh my gosh, can I put a cartoon into the television? So the answer is yes. And unfortunately, my cycles moves really weird. So it's going to be like all kind of pixelated and messed up. And I'm so sorry that you can't like fully see what's going on. But believe me when I say like it's like a clip from one of the Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes. So it's maybe like, I don't know, a 20-second clip or something of like Courage and the grandpa, I think his name is Eugene, but I forget. But they're just like in the dining, like a really creepy diner, and this like really creepy character is like taking their order. But that's what's in this particular scene. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I just wanted to see if I could put the cartoon in the television with what I knew as far as Blender, and like I was able to do it. So this was like a huge moment for me because I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to elevate all of my projects moving forward. So my intention with this one was to potentially stack like 3 TVs on top of one another, and each television is playing another one of my favorite cartoons. So thank you, by the way. I love this one. This is so cute to me. But I would put like Hey Arnold in one, and then maybe like Rugrats or Rocko's Modern Life, or like Ren and Stimpy or SpongeBob, or just like a really nostalgic 90s SpongeBob I know was like more 2000s, but like a 90s cartoon, and just have the 3 simultaneously like playing, and they're all kind of like stacked on top of each other. I thought that would be really fun. So that's my intention with this one. But I also was realizing like in the background, why don't I even amp it up even more and just have a bunch of 90s nostalgia on the wall, like photos. So I was thinking of even going as far as like having a bunch of picture frames, like a wall mural of different 90s cartoons, like still frames of different 90s cartoons. So just brainstorming kind of what I want to do with this. So this is another one of my vintage lives that I did. So this one's on my page as well. First hour and a half though, you can completely skip it because I end up deleting and starting completely over an hour and a half in. You know what I mean? So I know. But you know what? I feel like, AI is absolutely infiltrating, and I recognize that completely. But I think I refuse to believe that there's no space for us, So it's like I just still feel that, having these tools is beneficial. There are just some things that require the human touch. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of moving with that, And then this is the rotary phone that we worked on. And this one really gave me a run for my money because, again, that curve modifier. So I think now that I've kind of figured it out and how to utilize a curve modifier, I can go back in and fix it and get that cord finally complete so that we can have a completed rotary phone. So this was a rotary phone. I really love the aesthetic of this. I love the colors. I love the lighting. I just think it just gives very like granny. It just gives very granny, and I love that. So this is another one of the vintage projects that we worked on that I can absolutely animate in the future. And then the last one that I will show you all is my gumball machine, which is probably my absolute favorite one. Like, this one really just knocks my socks off. So let me find this one. And this was unexpected. And we did this in one sitting. So this was, is it this one? No, I think it's this one. Let's find out. This one I absolutely have to animate because we did get to use a rigid body system, which I hadn't used in a long time. And it worked. Like, it was just like no problem. It all worked together when I was making the gumballs. Oh, this might be an old one. Let me see. I think the other one, I think I saved two separate ones, but let me see. Yeah, this might be, oh wait, let me see. I think I might have saved two separate files, but all in all, let me go to the other one. Or maybe, hold on, let me press play. Maybe it needs to be, okay, maybe not. Let me go to the other one. Let me see. Because sometimes I will do, I'll do backups. So maybe it's this one. And I think this is the project. Oh no, this is not it. This is like the initial. This is kind of like where we kind of started. So that is the one. That's the bright one. Okay, let me go back to it. It's this one. I don't know where all the spheres are. I don't know what happened, but it was full at one point. I don't know what happened there, but nonetheless, you know. Let me see something. Where are my gumballs at? It should be full. Maybe I gotta play it one time through. Oh, there they are. There they go. They're back. See, you see that? How fun, right? All those little gumballs fall in. This one I really love. I really want to animate this one in a real way. I'm very proud of this one. Let me pause it. I think this one's really pretty. Yeah, use my brain, please. Oh my gosh. How can I help? Let me let it play all the way through, I think, so I can get... Okay, cool. Also, I am building another computer so that when it is in cycles and we're in render mode, it's not so like pixelated and it doesn't take so long to kind of catch up. So really excited for my new computer. My dad will be here in 3 days, which is like insane. My family's coming from Connecticut and I'm excited to like start putting my computer together. So, but anyway, my Mac has gotten the job done. Don't get me wrong, I love her, but yes, Yana, pick my brain, please. This is probably my absolute favorite. I did do a slot machine too, but I used like a different shader, so the aesthetic is a little bit different, but this is my gumball machine. I love this project. So I definitely want to animate this one as well. Maybe like have this spin, like put a coin in here, have this spin, and then all the gumballs kind of come like spewing out. One of the things, the critiques that I guess I would have of this particular render is the gumballs look like they're in water, and I don't love that. So I do want to like play around with my shader, my glass shader, and fix that so that they don't look so distorted. You know what I'm saying? Like they look very different than these gumballs out here. But that would be my only self-critique. But other than that, we did this gumball machine in one sitting, and I love her. This is one of my favorite projects. So yeah, I would hate for this to just go to waste, and I just did it on live, and that was kind of it. So, you know, that's my hope. So just like sticking to the vintage vibes, and this shader I'll probably use for the typewriter too, because I think it's so beautiful. If we can like zoom in, you can see like the texture of like the little like cuts, and it's worn, and I just think it's so pretty. And again, I used like the Dingleberry the font to get these really cute little designs and stuff, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, yeah, I mean my thing with The Sims, I definitely do see the community on TikTok. I mean, not TikTok, on Twitter or X or whatever. I do see it, and I do see how a lot of people is really frustrated with the Sims team and EA and all of that. But the way that I've always looked at it, Sims has always brought me joy, bugs and all. I've always enjoyed it. I'm appreciative of any content that does come out. Like, I understand the fairy pack, or any pack for that matter, could be better. We could have had more things, more items, more wallpapers, more flowers, more plants, whatever the case. But I use mods and I have no problem downloading what else I like. So I'm not too critical on the game, because it brings me joy regardless. Even with all the crashes, like I love it. I still love it. So I try to just stay in that pocket. I'm grateful for it. Makes me happy. When I'm stressed out, there's nothing better. So, I'm cool with it. I'm totally cool with it. Yes, Jan, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you for coming to hang out with me today. This has been I thought last week was great, but this week was even better. And the hope is that every week it gets a little bit better. And hopefully y'all can take something from this. It brings you a little calm, something that you could play in the background. I love having things play in the background as I'm doing stuff. So hopefully this kind of creates that sort of a vibe. Thank you to everybody who gave their 2 cents and let me know what would be helpful to them. I'm absolutely going to take all that feedback and implement it into everything that I have going on. And just keep pushing forward. So definitely stay tuned for the Discord. We'll get that going sooner than later for sure. I'm grateful that you guys are enjoying the vintage modeling, because I'm really enjoying it. I really do enjoy doing these. And I love how resilient you are and how you allow things. Yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for saying that. I do try to be intentional with my mindset and my perspective, because I know my mind could also be my own worst enemy, and I could literally destroy myself in my mind. So it's the same way I could destroy myself, I could build myself up. And that's just what I've been trying to practice, and it's been working so far. So I'm just going to keep moving in that direction. And it's been working, because clearly there's so many of you beautiful people in here, keeping me company and giving me things to talk about, and just being of support. So I'm very grateful. You have no idea what this means to me, just to be able to have other humans to engage with. So I can't say thank you enough, and how much it means to me. And this will be my glimmer and my joy that I'll bring throughout the rest of my day, because this live was so dope. So I am so grateful. So please move through your day knowing that you made my day better, and you empowered me and made me feel not giving up, and just keep trucking. So thank you guys so much. So yeah, I'm gonna grab myself something to eat, and I'm going to get working on all those things that we talked about. And yeah, thank you all so much for hanging with me today. I'll be back next Monday. We'll keep this party going. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, definitely drop them in the comments. I will post something up where you can put your feedback, and I'll also post up a short about the Discord as well, because I think I have to get to a certain amount of followers to be able to put polls up and things like that. So I'll put up a short with the Discord information, so that if you do want to join the Discord, we can do that. And all that jazz. So thank you guys so much. Have a the best rest of your day, honestly. Day, evening, night, whatever time it is where you are, and just know you've literally made my day so much better. I'm so happy. I'm so honored. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great one, and just don't forget to make space for the things that make you happy and calm. And I'll see you guys next week, okay? All right, thank you guys. Bye.